You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Hot Take Hot Box, and that's right, it is the 2024 WWE Royal Rumble preview show. I am joined by Dante Mags. Dante, we were just talking about this before we started. I can't express to the people out there how excited I am for this event, this premium live event, this. They're always pay-per-views in my mind, even though I don't have to pay. I just
still
remember
the Sunday pay-per-views.
I remember having to beg my mom and dad to let me buy Unforgiven 2006, Edge, John Cena, TLC match for the WWE Championship. That still is a memory that's always in my head. But it's much better now. If I was a kid, it would be so much better. You gotta get Peacock, and I can watch it. It's no big deal. So, but Don, I am so excited about this, and I know you are too.
Yeah, this feels like it feels bigger, potentially with like everything that's leading up, and maybe just because like Mania's in a few months, and we know we will be there live.
Yeah,
witnessing it. So this is like the kickoff to it, but it just feels like, I guess, it feels bigger than the Rumble has in the last like couple years. Because I was like thinking of the last few Rumbles, and not that it was like always super predictable, but it was kind of like you had an idea of where they were going with it the last couple years.
Yeah.
Especially last year. Like last year was the most obvious Rumble of all time, I think. But like I think this year, and once we get into it, you could probably name close to, I would say 7, maybe even like 8 names of like this person's gonna win. Mm-hmm. And I'd believe you. I'd be like, if you told me like this person's gonna win and this is how it's gonna go into Mania, I'd be like, all right, I could get behind that. So I think this is like the first time in a while that it's been like that sort of hype.
I've been a big fan of the build-up to this, too, because they have kind of given you a little teaser to, 3, 4, 5 different feuds that could go down maybe at the Rumble, or maybe, where it could trickle on into WrestleMania. Especially that Cody CM Punk promo the other night was awesome. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about when you bring back a CM Punk. That's the value he adds. The man hasn't even gotten in the ring yet on TV, and he's just already giving you the content that you asked for.
And again, that's like something that from Cody and CM Punk, you weren't even thinking that like this is a feud I wanted right now.
Yeah.
Or like didn't even ask for it, wasn't expecting it, kind of was just like, yeah, okay. And then, they hit that promo, and it's kind of like if you were to give me that at night 1 main eventing WrestleMania, I'd be like, all right, cool, like sign me up because I need it at some point now. So I guess, that those little teasers that they have had leading up into Mania are kind of going to be more or less exposed here at the Rumble.
Like they did the Drew and CM Punk, that was nice. They did Gunther this past week with Seth Rollins. That was,
Legends.
Anything involving the Ring General is I'm all in on.
Legends.
Honestly, there hasn't been a ton of different. I guess not a ton of different matches, so there's not really a lot of different avenues that can be explored other than the actual like men's Royal Rumble and who's going to win that and what's going to be the fallout from it. So honestly, let's just get right into it. The men's Royal Rumble, we think, will probably be one of the later matches to go off.
It's got to close.
You think so?
The show, I think. I think it does. If it were me, you probably like. I don't know. I think it happens after the Roman Fatal 4-Way, just so whatever happens there, you have a potential for 1, 2, or 3 more contestants to hop into that Royal Rumble. Plus, I think it sets you up a little better if Roman already wins to do something maybe with like a solo showing up at the Rumble. As a participant, or like something of that nature. Like if you do the men's Royal Rumble before Roman, it kind of takes away from the, I think, Roman appeal.
Yeah.
Unless one person wins the Rumble, and it's going to be face to face with Roman, and that's how you want to close it out. Then that's how you do it. But then I think it becomes predictable as to who would win the Rumble at that point.
Yeah, and I just think like you said, you're losing the Randy, LA, like three big names that you could include in your Royal Rumble match because I know WWE is stacked with talent, but it's once you get to around 30 names, you're gonna start running out of being like guys that you care about or guys that you're really excited about. So I think they could use an LA Knight,
Yeah,
a Randy Orton, maybe not all of them, maybe just a couple of them. It doesn't have to be all of them, but we'll see how that match plays out. I am in agreement though. I think that's one of the first ones that kind of goes off.
yeah. I think you need it just to kick off a Randy story for Mania, right? Because he has really, I don't want to say nothing going on right now, but like he had just come back, so his feuds are very few and far between. And like he's not going to carry a Roman feud into Mania. So I
No.
think like what you're looking at is you got to kind of put him in there to do a feud or figure out what you're doing with him and whether it be solo or if you want to explore the always fun legacy aspect and do Cody versus Randy. That's something too that I think you can start here at the Rumble. Just
So
like getting him in there is important.
yeah, I agree. And I think you need those different names included just to add a little because there's going to be there's always the possibility of legends coming back, which we'll talk about. There's all these different dudes
Yeah,
that maybe were injured and then they come back that you haven't seen in a while. The Sami Zayns and there's a bunch of different.
Sammy's been off TV for a decent chunk of
Sheamus is another
time.
guy who I was thinking about the other day who has been off TV for a long time.
I think they were hinting at him coming back. I think Rey Mysterio they were talking
True.
is I think healthy. Um, and again, you need to kick off a storyline with him because like not to say that Carlito hijacked his LWO storyline with Santos Escobar, but it's kind of like all right, Ray comes back and you reignite this, or Ray tosses his son over the top rope at the Rumble, and you get Ray versus Dom too, which sign
All
me
in.
up for that as well. Yeah, I mean, sign me up for that as well. But yeah, I think from that perspective, like you start thinking about, okay, we need 30 names, and you take into account maybe a legend or two, maybe a guy that hasn't been around for a while, like again a Sheamus or a Mysterio, and then some of the NXT guys. So I'm praying that Braun Breaker shows up in this
That would
Royal
be sweet.
Rumble and just spears somebody to oblivion. Um, and I think between him and Carmelo Hayes, they're both going to be up at some point in time, whether it be before the Mania or after the Mania. But like, yeah, I think a Royal Rumble push for them would be incredible.
So let's talk about there's 19 names that are possible to that we don't know about. The 11 that we do know about, I'll name them off, rattle them off right now. Cody Rhodes, he was the first to announce saying that he was going to enter himself. That's when Shinsuke came out and tried to fuck
Yeah.
with him. CM Punk, that was in December. He came out said I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. That was when we were thinking that him and Seth Rollins was the move, but now plans keep they are very fluid right now. It seems like things are just moving all over the place. Shinsuke, he's locked in. He will be there. Bobby Lashley, he will be there.
Legend.
Drew
That man is
McIntyre,
huge.
yeah, we the Almighty. I always respect the Almighty. Drew McIntyre, Gunther,
Ring
every
general.
member of the Alpha Academy, Chad Gable, Otis, and Akira Tozawa.
Nice. Tozawa's in it.
Yeah, he is. He's locked in.
I would like to see a nice Gable push in this Royal Rumble. Then, if like
They
not like
blew it.
a huge one, but yeah, I know they definitely did. They 100% did. But like, get a nice little showing for Gable here, just to like remind everyone, like, hey, I almost beat Gunther.
And then we finished it off with Kofi Kingston. He's
Nice.
always involved,
He's always there. Yeah.
and Damian Priest, who I've soured on
Why?
of recent.
Why is Priest in? He's got the briefcase. Like, you do not need to be in the Rumble as well.
No man has failed cashing in as much as he has. It's getting ridiculous at this point. This man has no idea when to cash in, how to cash it in. He runs
Yeah.
in during matches. It's like what are you doing?
I mean, I think part of it is like from a storyline perspective. I think they just missed their window. Like, I think that there was a clear window. and they didn't do it. And then it was probably bound to happen soon. And then Seth got injured, so it's kind of just like, you know, there still. I'm wondering if anything changes, if Judgment Day breaks up over the next couple of months and you see him kind of out of Judgment Day, what that does and how that goes about. But like, yeah, it's weird because the briefcase recently, I mean, like, even who had it?
Austin Theory.
Yeah, his was terrible.
Yeah.
He was like, it is tough when you have the briefcase because like you can't cash in on Roman.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna do, like, you can't
Or you're
do
gonna
it.
lose. It's
You're just
just
gonna lose. Yeah.
you'll look
So
horrible.
yeah. So I'm assuming, I'm gonna assume that at some point he fails to cash in, but like, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if every member of Judgment Day is in the Royal Rumble, or at least like most of them, and then see like how that interaction goes, because it would be interesting between Finn and Priest. I think you can kick off a feud here between them if they decide to turn on Priest.
So, of those people, we've named the people who are locked in. Who we talked about some. Who are some of the other guys that you think are going to show up? We talked about Sami Zayn, Sheamus, things of that nature. But of the not like crazy names, who do you think that we're gonna see? Who else do we see in this? Like, are we gonna see some Imperium members? Do you
Maybe
see,
either.
Xavier Woods or something like that? Like, are those guys you think
Well,
they're the filler kind of guys?
I mean, they've been pushing New Day and Imperium, so I'm assuming another member of Imperium event would show up in there, and if Xavier Woods shows up to kind of kick off that feud, I think I think one of the reasons to kind of push that feud is that you might be coming to a split in the tag titles. So I think they want to build up the tag division again on Raw if Priest and Finn do, break up those titles. Other people, I mean, I'm assuming Jimmy and Jay are both in it.
Yeah.
Because you need that like stare down to kick off their feud, because
Yes.
that's an obvious choice for Mania. Again, I think maybe like one or two NXT guys, so Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, I think kind of both don't have too much going on with their storylines. Or I know Carmelo Hayes has the Trick Williams saga going on, but like he's not overly featured in matches. Probably either Theory or Grayson Waller or both will be in the Rumble, right? I think both of them, probably Santos Escobar.
Yeah.
I would
I'd
assume
say
that's Santos. But again, like all these people are people that have like built-in feuds, or built-in like, oh hey, we're gonna toss you over the ropes, and we have somebody to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like Santos Escobar getting tossed over the ropes by either Rey Mysterio or Carlito is expected with their storyline. So it's not like they're not even going to be, not that's going to be filler, but they're not going to be people I expect to make like this deep run. From the Raw locker room, like maybe one of the Creed brothers,
Yeah.
right? Like one of them. What's Ivar's big ass doing? Like maybe Ivar. I need from Raw, I need one person to show up in the Rumble, and that's R-Truth.
Wow.
I need R-Truth in this Royal Rumble.
Do you think like Finn Balor's gonna be in it?
I think so. I think Finn is in. I think Finn makes a little bit of a deep run. I could even see Finn coming to a point of eliminating Priest, or getting mad at Priest if Priest eliminates him. And I think you're coming to we're kicking Priest out the Judgment Day. I think Dom is a lock to probably show up in there too. Because again, like it is weird that not a lot of people have big storylines like going on, but there are these people that are like, all right, let's kick off a storyline for you, and the best way to do it is like go into the Rumble and get eliminated by somebody.
So, I think we talked about all the different names that could be included in this. Like even like obviously the Kevin Owens like Logan Paul match will happen before that. So whoever loses that match could, in theory, pop their name in here. That's
Yeah,
just another guy.
I also think I know we talked about like surprise names, or I think Andrade shows up. I know they were talking to him, obviously leaving AEW, showing up in WWE. I think he makes an appearance.
Any chance Cena shows up?
I'm going
I
to say
say
no.
no. Yeah, I say no as well.
Sadly, I'm going to say no, just because like I don't want him to show up because I don't want to see him get tossed over the ropes
By
like,
Solo.
Yeah, like not that not that I'm being selfish, but like if Cena shows up, he's not winning, so it's like, damn, I'm gonna have to watch this. I'm gonna have to watch this man get tossed over the ropes again.
Yeah.
Like that's as far as like older wrestlers from like I don't even know because like most of these legends have showed up again.
What about let me give you a few. I have a few names written down here. I mean Brock has that the situation's kind of changed with that, so I
Yeah,
imagine he probably won't be included. He's probably got to get shelved for a little bit.
I honestly hope he's not
Yeah.
included with everything that's going down. Pretty disgraceful hearing the articles and hearing that. So like, no, just Brock, you live on a farm. You're pretty secluded.
Stay where
just
you're at.
Stay there. Yeah, just please don't show up anywhere. I don't want to see that man's face. I'm bad talking Brock Lesnar, but like, yeah, just get out.
Well, he deserves it right now. How about if allegedly if whatever's going? I mean, that's just even if what just read it. That's all I got to say to you people out there. Just go read it. How about some names from maybe outside of WWE that could be showing up? I've heard that Mr. Okada from New Japan. I'm not a big New Japan guy, or that doesn't really get me going. But I know a lot of people out there are huge, overall international wrestling fans. Do you think he could show up?
Yeah, there were rumors that he was going to.
I don't think it's the time though.
Up. No, I think he appears on NXT. I think he kind of shows up around Stand and Deliver, and then you kind of have a feud on NXT for him for a little bit. And I think that's, you'll get some bangers there before you main roster him. It's just like between New Japan and any other wrestling promotion outside of WWE, and I guess even a little bit AEW, but like a lot of those people are ex WWE. It's just like tough to come right over right away and just like hop to a story. I know like AJ Styles did it years ago where it was like his WWE debut was at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like it's tough. And even I remember when that happened, it was like, it sounded like a third of the audience actually knew like when that music hit that it was AJ Styles. And there was like 2/3 that were just kind of like, this guy looks familiar, and then didn't move the needle too much. So like you'd want his introduction to WWE to be grander than like, Royal Rumble entrant number 10 is Okada. He just signed.
Yeah, I think you gotta put him on NXT or something like that. Introduce him to the American audience a little bit so that people maybe know what's going on. It seems like if he showed up, especially like I would be like, okay, like cool. It wouldn't really do much for me.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm more of a casual though. Like when it comes to that stuff, like I'm a hardcore WWE guy. Watched a little AEW. I know he was doing some stuff there for a little bit, but other than that, it's like I'm not going to get too excited over because you.
And again, it's the thing. Like the Royal Rumble's so tough because like and like we can talk about this in a little bit, but the short list, and the short list is about 7 names.
Yeah.
At this point, like if you debut in the Royal Rumble, it's kind of just like, all right, this was cool, but hopefully you get a good showing. But he's getting sent over the ropes.
All right, here's another name, and this one would get a big pop out of me. Do you think there's any chance MJF shows up?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, but I think there's a chance.
I think there is a chance. I know they took him off the roster pages. They haven't really been too much like playing into or like hinting at his character in AEW recently. And I know like he's not obviously under contract, so there's probably a shot. Like I wouldn't be shocked. It would be like again like a pop like holy shit moment. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he may stay in AEW for another contract. I don't know if he's. I mean, I know like that was hinted in like different press conferences there and different their pay per views. But again, like it's not like out of the realm of possibility because everyone knows what the situation is with him.
So yeah, that's the one that would that's like the one that gets me the most excited from maybe outside the WWE universe. That's a possibility. I think you would throw him into the fold of what they have going on right now. I think he would fit in just perfectly. But
Oh yeah, he'd be feuding right away with Punk or Cody or anybody. Like he would be. You would introduce him and it's like all right, we have something for him already, like locked and loaded, ready to go. So again, it is one of those things to where like if he shows up, that would be an incredible get and an incredible get from Triple H, and one of those things that's kind of like, I don't want to say game set match from a Triple H perspective, but like that would be huge.
yeah, well, and that would be like a fork in the heart of AEW. It would be tough for them to bounce back, especially when they're running Edge versus guys I've never heard of before on regular Friday night and Saturday night television. It's sad. I've tried to. I'm telling you, I'm honest. I've tried to watch Dynamite from time to time, and I just can't sit there
Not
through
a
it and
big
watch it. No,
Luchasaurus
no.
kill switch.
El Hijo del Vikingo. No, I am good on a lot of those guys over there.
It's like it's so different now than I think it was even when like they had Punk and different storylines going. Like I'm not interested in any storyline that's not Christian, and like I'm not even interested in watching Christian. I mean, Christian still goes and he wrestles incredible matches, and like same thing with Edge. Like the matches are incredible, but if like Christian isn't cutting a fire promo about somebody's father, I'm just like I'm tapped out.
Disinterested. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last one I would like to bring up this man is inside the WWE universe, and if this man showed up, he would win, and we didn't see him all that long ago. Dwayne, do you think there's any possibility that The Rock shows up on Saturday night?
I would say 60-40 he shows up.
Okay. I mean, if they're going to do the Mania, then this is I feel like this is the easiest
the way
to do it.
This is the way to do it unless there's one other way to do it that's intriguing enough, but like people would hate it. And so I don't even want to I'll dive into it, but like it's not too far of a dive. But I think like you just got to like rip the Band-Aid off because what the next live event is and what you can do at that live event. Like it's one thing because like, okay, if Dwayne doesn't show up, then you're looking at a list of 4 or 5 guys that are going to win the Royal Rumble. It would probably be easier to just take those 4 or 5 guys and put them in an Elimination Chamber match to face Seth Rollins because of those 4 or 5, mostly all of them are on Raw anyway.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like, okay, you know what? You got a list of, and you can do the list like Punk, Cody, Drew, Priest, or Finn. Like, you have a list, maybe even Nakamura. You have 6 solid ones to be like, all right, you 6 go in the chamber, winner faces Seth, and it's locked in. The only other way that like the Roman and Dwayne thing feels more authentic is if he wins this, and it's like, hey, I was thinking about that when he did the executive chair board member thing when he signed on. Was that Wednesday?
Yeah,
he signed on to it. I was like, what a storyline that would be. That again, he joins the board as an excuse to basically just enter himself into the Royal Rumble, corporate Rock style, and just kind of like, again, win the Royal Rumble and challenge Roman Reigns. Because you have that. I mean, like you can pose it as just like it's not just The Rock coming back. Here's a storyline of like, hey, I'm on the board now. I make decisions here at TKO. I'm part of the process, and guess what? I'm taking back what's mine, the head of the table. So again, I think there's a great chance he shows up. I'll be a little bit disappointed actually if like he doesn't. It'll be just like he didn't show up. That's crazy. Um, so again, I'm more on like the 60-40 where it's like if he doesn't show up, a little bit of disappointment, kind of like get the fact that he wouldn't show up. But yeah, if he shows up, he's gonna win.
Yeah, that's got to be. If he shows up, he's the winner, and it's a lock. That would be it. He'd come in at 30. You wouldn't expect it. That's what I'm hoping for. By the time they get to 30, it's like we've seen all the lock names. We know all the people who are in there, in like the 30. Because it felt like didn't last year we know Cody was going to be 30. Like, well, once we got to like 30, it was like, oh, they haven't like.
Oh, it's Cody. Yeah, because
Yeah,
Cody announced he was going to be in the Royal Rumble, and he didn't come out.
yeah.
So you knew like Cody's coming out at. I think after probably like the 20th person came out, you were like, they're not going to do Cody at like 27.
Yeah.
So you kind of were just like, all right, Cody's coming at 30, he's going to win. And you didn't know how he was going to do it.
So I am with you 100% on just like it. This is the spot. This is the way to do it. Like you said, I think they could do, which I don't know if you would actually want to do, which is Dwayne like trying to earn his right to get into this match via an elimination chamber, which I don't think that's something that they would want to do.
There's one other thing you could do that doesn't involve him winning the Rumble, but it would involve either a match at Elimination Chamber, and I don't know, they would do like a singles match, like his first singles match in however many years, like against Solo for the right to face Roman.
Yeah.
They could do a tag match of Dwayne and Jay versus Jimmy and Solo. And if Dwayne and Jay win, then Dwayne, wins the opportunity to face, put it on the line there and just say, The Rock comes back and says, I want to challenge for the head of the table, this, that, and the other thing, this, that, and the other thing. And say, Roman basically says, I'll give you the right to challenge for that if you beat Solo and Jimmy in a tag match, and you got to go find yourself a partner. It's obviously going to be, main event Jay.
It's just me, Oos.
Yeah, Jimmy takes the pin to Dwayne after Dwayne does like one rock bottom. And then because that kicks off another storyline in and of itself, which is the Jimmy Jay storyline. Yeah. So, like, that's one way to do it, and I wouldn't be mad at that. Because, again, it gets The Rock in the ring at Chamber in Australia, which is going to be a huge show. But it's not like a singles match. And he'll do, like... Remember? Was it?
He can get a little bit of work. Remember when I was just about to say this, when they did The Rock and Cena versus R-Truth?
Yeah.
And I think The Miz?
Yeah, they did that. Awesome Truth.
It's just like to kind of get a little bit of work in before your big event.
Even last year, though, like when I think Cena came back and Cena did like a random tag match. I know Cena did the tag match at Fastlane.
Yeah.
This year with LA Knight. So, like, I could see, like, again, that would be a way to do it without having Dwayne just straight up show up at 30 in the Royal Rumble. But, like, if that's the case, then I think only one other man wins the Royal Rumble, and I think that's probably CM Punk.
Yeah, see, I think we're in agreement. So let's go. I have the odds up here for people for the men's Royal Rumble, who the favorites are. At plus 125 to win the Royal Rumble, it's CM Punk. That's probably. I don't want to say if The Rock, like, I guess I would have to make a decision either way, but, you just don't know if The Rock's going to show up. I just think no matter what, if The Rock doesn't show up, it has to be somebody from Raw who's not named Cody Rhodes. So it would be either Gunther or CM Punk, and I think it would be CM Punk. I think that's the best avenue.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry to my boy Cody Rhodes, but it's just it's not, and I'm sorry to wrestling Twitter who may be watching this, and I hope somebody's listening to this, and I hope we get some nasty comments on this YouTube page about wrestling Twitter. But like, it's not happening this year. It's not. It's
get it through your head.
I don't see any way that you're just like, we're running it back. The only way I could think of is if like they pull a what was that 2021 maybe, where it was like the Roman I'm a stack, Daniel Bryan and Edge on top of each other and pin them. But like Daniel Bryan found his way into that match for no reason. Like
Yeah.
it was Edge won the Rumble, and then like Daniel Bryan just like found his way in it. You can make a triple threat match like that, but like Cody's not going to win still. So someone's going to eat a pin, and at that point, like why even have Cody involved in that? So like, just everyone on the wrestling Twitter, keep it in your heads. Cody's not beating Roman at WrestleMania. I don't care how many hypotheticals we put out there. All right, Roman's taking this belt to September with him. Just enjoy the ride. Just literally just enjoy it, because that's what's going to happen. But continue back with the odds.
No, yeah, I just to piggyback off what you said, we've talked about this a million times that these people, like, I get a lot of people out there Cody fans. I am a Cody fan as well. I would love for the man to finish his story. I think it would be a huge moment. I think I would love. I mean, we're going there, so if I'm not getting The Rock, I would love to see Cody win the title. That would be an enormous moment. That would be awesome. I just don't think this is the year. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're ready to take the belt off Roman yet, and I don't want him to lose. I don't want him to take another pin to Roman Reigns. I just don't want to see it happen. So I'm, in some ways, looking out for the best interest of Cody and saying it's just not. This isn't the year. And from the things you've heard from Cody, it kind of sounds like he knows, and he's trying to let people know, like, this. It's not now. This is not the time.
I think he wins it probably by Survivor Series or at Survivor Series next year.
Whenever Roman Reigns passes Hulk Hogan, that is when I will.
I think he
agree.
could obviously. I think with the whole debacle with the Money in the Bank briefcase this year with Priest, I wouldn't be shocked if they just put the briefcase on Cody next year, and then Cody just calls his shot and says, "This is the day I'm doing it."
Yeah, like does the good guy thing, kind of like what RVD did. Was like, yo, like I want you at ECW One Night Stand, and he just goes, yo, I want you at Survivor Series 1-on-1. You could even put some in a Hell in a, like, you could do something crazy if you really wanted to.
Yeah, you do something incredible. I mean, outside of that, though, it's got to be I think like CM Punk's your, I don't want to say clear winner, but like I can't think of anybody else. Like I'm trying to picture it of like somebody sending, because again, you would have to have a clear picture of like Cody and CM Punk and Gunther like all flying over the top rope, and I'm just not seeing who's going to be standing there if all those guys are just laying on the canvas.
Yeah.
Like, I love Drew. What Drew's been doing has been awesome. I don't think I could see a world where everybody's just on the canvas and Drew McIntyre is like, hey, I get to face Seth Rollins again. Wouldn't be shocked if that did happen because the storyline's there. But, like, it would be, like, a feat when you think about, okay, all these guys are over the top rope, and we're stuck. We're here with, Drew winning. It's CM Punk, or at this point, it's Gunther, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. So I'll go through the odds here real quick, and then we can talk about it. CM Punk plus 125. Cody still here at plus 200. Gunther plus 300. Then there's a little bit of a drop off. Then you have The Rock at plus 900. That would be where my money. I would put, if I could actually bet on it, that would be what I would bet on. Drew McIntyre at plus 1,000. Jey Uso at plus 1,000. Sami Zayn at plus 1,400. And then you got Kevin Owens, Solo Sikoa, and MJF at plus 2,500. Brock Lesnar at plus 3,300. Big E, Damian Priest.
The Big E thing is interesting.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of Big E chatter of like, I know he's came out and said like I have no timetable to return, but there's been like some chatter because what you're getting is the Imperium New Day feud. I don't know if a Big E return at the Rumble to then generate a Big E versus Gunther WrestleMania match for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Which would be a way to again finally get that title off of Gunther, because I could see Big E winning that because it's his first match back from forever. I don't know if he's like medically cleared or if it's something that like he's able to go.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna. I just. It doesn't sound like he's like doing an angle or like just
No,
like
but the
yeah.
pop would be incredible. Like if he showed up, that pop would be absurd.
It
But
would.
it'd be like one of those pops where it's like when you think about it, you're just surprised that he's back because he got cleared. You're not surprised that he's back because like from a storyline perspective, like he's back. Like some of these people show up and they're like, it's a pop because like what the hell is this man doing here? But it's not like I expected this man to be here.
So I would say 5 names that I think are the possible winners: CM Punk, Gunther,
Yes.
The
Yes.
Rock.
Yes.
I mean, I think you'd have to throw Cody Rhodes in there as an outside if that's really like it's just he's a viable option. And then at 5, I don't really know what I would do. Probably Drew, and that's just an outside ish. I don't know.
Solo would be interesting.
Yeah, I just don't think they're ready for that yet.
No, I think that's a like post Roman losing the title feud.
Yeah.
I think.
No, name I forgot about. Sorry to interrupt you. I just saw this. Ricochet. I know he's not going to win, but that's another guy who we haven't seen in a while.
There.
Yeah.
You haven't been seen in a while. What's Bronson Reed been up to? Like, I know he has a match with Jey Uso on Monday, but he might show up because, Bronson Reed.
He gives spooky promos on Raw all the time. That's his thing.
I'm trying to think like SmackDown names. Like, will Ellen Prince show up?
Sure hope not.
I know you're a big,
yes,
pretty
boy.
Guy. Yes, boy. One of those two. You get one of them. Maybe Pete Dunne. Now that he's back to not being Butch. I would like if I'm going a final 4 of mine that I would enjoy seeing. I think that this is kind of how it goes. I think you get like CM Punk, Solo, Dwayne, and I'll go with Randy Orton. I guess as my final 4. If I had to pick the last 4, I think you might get like a Randy eliminates CM Punk type deal, and then Solo eliminates Randy. And I think you can get like the way that Dwayne wins is if the last 2 are Dwayne and Solo, and Dwayne just tosses Solo over the ropes.
Yeah. So
and
Now my official pick, I probably would have to go. I feel like they're gonna do Gunther, but I feel like I would like him to have the belt off of him, and then I'd feel more confident picking him. I have a tough time thinking they're just gonna give it to CM Punk right away, just because it's not something they usually do. Reward you when you walk back in, but it would just be logical sense to put them right into the put that right into the Seth Rollins feud. I think I got to go with The Rock though. If they're really gonna do this at this year's WrestleMania, then do it big. This is the way to do it. It's the easiest way to you keep The Rock out of the ring. You don't have to have him get in there really until the Mania.
Fired, and it gets Roman out of the ring. Like Roman's feud right now it's with basically between it being with Nick Aldis and with LA Knight, Randy, and AJ. Like it's great, and I think it's been really good. But you can see like the LA Knight AJ feud is there, and that's going to be what's going to carry into Mania. And then with Randy, you put him with maybe you could. I think if Randy, like I said, Randy's going to be potentially in the final 4. He gets to the final 4 by eliminating Cody.
Yeah,
he just tosses Cody right over the ropes. Cody thinks they're going to team up to take some people out. Old Legacy and Cody and Randy's like, yeah, for sure. And then he just RKO's him out of nowhere and then throws him over. And then you get the whole Randy got in my way of finishing my story, and then that's how you keep Cody out of the title match at Mania, and that's how you put Dwayne in there.
I've been watching some old stuff, man. Randy used to do some demonic shit back in the day. Like that was some next level. I mean, RKOing Stephanie McMahon and them handcuffing Triple H to the ring.
Yeah.
Just some real good shit. I think if they turn him heel, that would be sick. That would be.
I think you have to before I was like, again, you're looking at what's on Friday Night SmackDown, and like there's like pretty much one actual heel in that whole thing, and that's just Roman. Oh, Karrion Cross. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
I mean, he could show up.
I don't even think there's odds for him on here. That's the tough thing.
I think they might be like angling towards, and I don't know if this is true, but this is what it seems. They might be angling towards either like a trios belt or something like that, because you have a lot of trios now that are just like big, and it's weird. It's like you got Bobby and the Street Profits, and then you got Karrion Cross and AOP, and then you got the LWO, and you got Santos Escobar. Like, there's a lot of factions of threes, and something's got to be going on.
So your official pick?
My official pick is Dwayne.
Okay, I'm with you.
I'm going Dwayne.
It would probably sound so biased, but hey, this is what we've been angling for this for a long time.
I'd be thrilled, because it's like, all right, you got that out of the way. I don't have to worry about anything related to like when's The Rock showing up or are they going to do it. You just get it out of the way right now, and then you have a better, like, that makes the Elimination Chamber match that much better. Like, what are you going to do, an Elimination Chamber match to see who faces, Roman? I mean, like, it's going to be Dwayne. It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
So again, you have those Raw superstars. You have a list of 6 of them. Put them in the chamber, and let CM Punk beat them all. And I think like that gives you a better, like, again, like you said, it's tough to see CM Punk just coming back, and in your first televised match in the ring is the Royal Rumble, and you just winning it.
Yeah.
So again, you get to the whole like, all right, I failed at the Royal Rumble because of somebody else. He's really good at placing blame on others. But hey, guess what? Elimination Chamber match is coming up. There's still a chance to punch my ticket to face Seth for that title, and then you get 5 other guys, and then CM Punk wins there, and it's a little bit more gratifying when he wins that one.
Yeah, and who knows? Anything could happen we're not geniuses, ladies and gentlemen. We're just saying anything can happen. Stone Cold's 250 to 1. Wanted to let you know that too as well. So
put $1 on it.
Put $1 on it. Let's make some bread, brother. So that is the men's Royal Rumble. I think we spent plenty of time. I think we broke it down from every angle we possibly can. I think next we got to do. I don't think we'll spend much time on the rest of this, because that really is the one that's like gives me the most intrigue. But we have a Universal WWE Undisputed Universal Championship match, a fatal 4-way. Nick Aldis, that dirty rat Nick Aldis, doing our tribal chief dirty. Yeah, I actually do like Nick Aldis. I fuck with him. He makes this a fatal 4-way after Roman comes down and the rest of the bloodline come down and fuck up the triple threat match that was to decide who was going to be.
That was a great SmackDown, though.
Yeah, we were watching that.
That was wild.
And it's the perfect way to do this so that Randy, like you said, doesn't have to take this pin. And we all know, like, Roman's not losing this belt before Mania.
No.
Like, that's a lot.
Roman's winning this. I think the more intriguing part is, again, it opens up the door for that Randy Orton heel turn, in my opinion, because, like, have this match early and then have him backstage be like, I would have won this if it wasn't for, LA Knight and AJ Styles just, messing around and being there. If it was a one-on-one, Randy be like, I would have won. You insert the whole, like, I'm doing this whole my way type thing, like, no one's getting in my way anymore type Randy Orton, like, vintage Orton heel turn, and then, he comes out and starts RKOing everybody. I think that it comes down to, like, LA Knight and AJ Styles have been going, like, back and forth now since AJ Styles got back. I think that bleeds over into the match.
Yeah.
And they ruin it for probably Randy. Like, Randy pins Roman, but the ref is busy messing with AJ Styles and LA Knight, doing some nonsense, doesn't see the pin. And then, someone probably LA Knight eats a spear and Roman pins him.
And fatal 4-ways are essentially no disqualification anyway, so you're going to see some tomfoolery happen at some point involving the bloodline.
Yeah, I think probably Solo starts Samoan spiking people. I think Jimmy probably shows up but gets like RKO'd because I love watching Jimmy just get RKO'd. Sells it so clean, and it's just hysterical to watch. Yeah, you'll get a lot of that. Then the ref will be like distracted a bit. Roman will do the thing where you're counting at home and it's like a 5 count, and then ref doesn't see it. And Roman gets a spear to LA Knight, and then like a 1-2-3 count, a quick 1-2-3. It'll definitely be like a banger of a match, and I think it'll be a great match.
Yeah.
But I think like you know how this one's ending, but I think it's good because again, me and you talked about it, it's pretty obvious that AJ Styles and LA Knight have a Mania match coming up.
Yeah.
Like that's their destiny for both of them pretty much. And with Randy Orton, there's so many other things that you don't want to see him right now just like come back and just eat a pin for a title. So it's kind of where it's going.
Yeah, it's going to be something where LA does something that AJ Styles, maybe he gets screwed or somebody takes the. We both are in agreement. I think that AJ takes the pin, and it's probably not going to be clean-ish. It'll just be something happens, and he'll blame LA Knight, and then I think they'll let Randy, because Randy's kind of the odd man out here. They'll have to find something for him. I think your idea is perfect. Something in the Rumble. And I think Cody would be, if they're not going to do it. We talked about this months ago, that we were hoping Dwayne was going to show up. I mean, that was way before he said he wanted to be sit at the head of the table and all that.
He's the head of the table. Yeah, I'll acknowledge him as the head of the table.
Yeah, absolutely. My finger's still going up in the air. We the ones. So I think that that would make the most sense. It's like a built-in feud to have him and their former legacy, partner, squad mate, stable mate, and just him turn on him, and then they can have
Absolutely.
a nice feud talking about the past and everything.
Not only that, but like even leading up to the Survivor Series is like Cody was the one who brought technically Orton back.
Yeah.
On Team Cody for that. So again, it was, I think Cody's seen Orton, and when he brought him back, them working together, and maybe if they're in a Rumble together where there's 6 people left and it's a couple stare downs, it's 2v2v2, right? It's like hey, it's me and Cody and Randy are looking at everyone else, be like, all right, let's eliminate some of these people to even out these numbers, and then Randy just does kind of makes quick work, right, of Cody. And it'll lean into, again, keeping Cody that ultimate baby face, right? And I just think, like, again, me and you both know that Roman's not dropping this title this weekend. He's not dropping it at Elimination. He probably wouldn't even be at Elimination Chamber. He probably wouldn't even be at Backlash. So what you're looking at is, like, I don't think he's losing at Mania, and then you build in another, like, 5 months for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, and people probably sit there and like, oh, I hate it. Cody Rhodes to finish the story. Like, you're this close to breaking Hogan's record. Just take it there, man. Just all the way there. The only other person I could see Cody feuding with, but I think it's too early for it, would be Gunther. A little too early for that. Yeah. So, like, yeah, this makes sense. And from the Randy perspective, again, you're either feuding with Cody or you're feuding with Solo. Just pick a door.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's there's going to be a lot of chips that need to be placed into certain areas. There's a lot that needs to be figured out, but I think we're both in agreement. Roman easily walks away here with the W.
And I will be acknowledging my tribal chief.
Yeah,
all day.
And so let's keep it moving. Let's go to the Women's Royal Rumble match now, Dante. I think we have 6 names here that have been confirmed to be a part of this year's Women's Royal Rumble. We got Bayley, who is the odds-on favorite, it seems.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I was like,
yeah. But keep going with the names. I don't want to cut this segment short and say Bayley's winning, but keep going with the names.
Your girl, Nia Jax. I know you're a big fan of Nia Jax. Becky Lynch. I think she has she's definitely got a chance at winning this. I think.
Chance.
How about Bianca Belair? She, I think, any of the big names I think have a chance. Then these other two, Maxine Dupree, Ivy Nile, might as well just be out there. Maxine Dupree, big fan of her work. Huge fan of her work.
Big fan of the Academy. Yeah, Master Gable taught her well.
Master Gable knows exactly what he's talking about.
Then Ivy Nile. I think Ivy Nile gets a bit of like a bit of more of a push. Like it's going to be like a good showing for Ivy Nile that you could like include her into other stuff going forward and feeling pretty like good that like when she's there, it's going to be a good showing.
Yeah. Yep. So I think now we have to discuss some of the names that we think are gonna maybe show up, or
I got a few
outside names. How about How about we go back and forth and give you one. All right. One that's on the highest on the odds, and I think it's time. Definitely Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I think it would be.
I don't know if she wins, but I think she's got to we got to see her at some point.
You got to see her. Yeah, I think she shows up either now or Elimination. She's going to be at Wrestle. Like there will be a plan for her for WrestleMania. I think you could kick it off now. I think again you can probably do something similar to where like she's a final, I don't know, 3 or 4 person in there, and then gets eliminated by one of the big names, and then you start kind of a WrestleMania type feud, if so to speak.
All right, so you give me one.
Naomi or Trinity coming back from TNA. I think her TNA run kind of ended, so I could see her making a nice Rumble return. I don't know if it's going to be as Trinity or if it's going to be as Naomi, but Feel the Glow, I think, could hit and come back.
Big fan of her work as well. What about Sasha Banks, a.k.a. Mercedes Moné?
That's been the one I went with the safe route because I know like her and Trinity were obviously linked together when they left, and it's been kind of more reported that she's been done in TNA. If Sasha Banks comes back, that would be huge. That would be earth-shattering for the entire women's division as a whole for WWE. There's been reports that she is like going to AEW, but like those reports have been coming out like for the last like month and a half. They're like, oh, she's debuting, trust me, and like she hasn't. So that return would be great, and that return would give one of the biggest names, whichever one you want to pick, something to do at WrestleMania. Whether that's like Bianca or whether it's obviously Jade Cargill you just talked about, like that gives somebody a money feud.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they need something to do. So It's your turn now.
I'm going to give you one of your favorite people on WWE television right now, but not,
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Oh, Tiff Stratton.
Oh, man, I'm a big fan. Big fan of her work. And I'm not just saying that because why you guys think I'm saying that. I think she's actually great in the ring. And I think I started to pay attention to her after the Becky Lynch feud where Becky took the NXT title off of her. I just think she's awesome. And then I watch NXT sometimes, and she's throwing girls in trash cans. And
she got that moonsault.
She can do the prettiest moonsault. She's probably got the best moonsault of anyone. Definitely better than fucking Ivar's.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Even though it's very impressive for that large of a gentleman to be doing that. It's just...
I think like she doesn't have too much to do on it. I think her NXT run, I know she lost a couple weeks ago to have the whole segment of her working on the farm. I don't think there's much anything else that you could do with Trish Stratton at this point. I think she's ready for that like rocket ship type. I would probably assume Royal Rumble debut. I would assume Elimination Chamber match to be the number one contender at WrestleMania. And then I would assume some sort of a money feud with another name I'll bring up if you don't say it before I do. But yeah, I would love to see Tiff Stratton again. In ring, incredible. Incredible. I'm just going to say
incredible.
that.
Just all around incredible.
All around.
Shout out to Ludwig Kaiser. I mean, that man knows. That man knows. He's the one. That's why big fan of his work as well. So not in that way. Not the way I've been saying. I'm actually a fan of his in-ring work. Tiffany Stratton, I'm just a fan of her work. Okay, so
Yeah.
the next one I'm going to say is Liv Morgan. I think it's time for her to come back if she's healthy.
Yeah, I think she will. That's another name that I think if you're piecing together like your ideal number one contender versus Rhea Ripley elimination chamber match, she's in it. I'm saying that just because we have a pick to be the women's Rumble champ, and it's obviously SmackDown related. So you're like, all right, what are we doing to do the Rhea Ripley stuff? But Liv Morgan would be a great. She got some really nice pushes before she went off TV, so I think it'll be a good name. So I got a name for you now too.
Sure.
Trish Stratus.
I knew it, and I agree.
You knew my brain was going.
Thank you, Trish.
Yeah, no, just that says it all. Thank you, Trish. Like she could come back and do whatever she wants. Even when she came back last year, they had the whole Becky feud, and from a TV perspective, as a heel, she was phenomenal. And I think, like, again, dream matches for other reasons, but you do Trish Stratus versus Tiff Stratton at a WrestleMania.
Somewhat like a passing of the torch kind of match.
Yeah, and I think that's and that's something you pair up a Tiff Stratton with at their first match to put the rocket straight on them.
Yeah.
So that would be my pick. I wouldn't doubt seeing Trish Stratus show up.
So I'll name you a few other people, and we'll just kind of say yes or no if you think they're going to show up. A lot of these are no, but they're on the odds list, so I kind of wanted to talk about. I mean, I see Raquel Rodriguez is pretty high up here. I know she's not really. She's not going to win, so I don't really care all that
She's
much.
She's been really injured. She had something going on with like weird injury type. Maybe she's cleared. I think that would be. I don't think she'd win, but that would be a big. Again, you put her into the women's elimination chamber in Australia to face Rhea Ripley, and I think that's a good. That forms to be pretty good.
Yeah, that elimination chamber match that I'm booking in my head right now is pretty sick.
Yeah, I know, and like it's cool because I have like a couple. I think I named like already 5 names, but you know who would win that match. So it's again one of those things where it's like, all right, get the feuds going between the other 5 ladies in the match, and then let Becky win that. And I think that would be an explosion of just everyone would be feeling good there. But then you can push a Tiff Stratton feud with somebody, Liv Morgan, maybe against Raquel, right? Because they were former tag partners. You could push different things there.
Yeah, and it's just like, all the matches you could have to fill TV time from now until Elimination Chamber for people trying to get into that match would be.
Yeah, it'd be sick. And again, you have Becky on the mic every week, giving promos.
How about Ronda Rousey? I think no.
No.
Let's keep going. Alexa Bliss? No. I would say no.
She just had a baby.
Yeah.
I don't know how long ago, but I don't think it was like long enough ago to. I mean, if she made a return around the Monday after WrestleMania, that would be something. I just don't know again how long ago that child was born to be like, oh hey Alexa Bliss, you're back.
Lita.
I don't. She was back for a little bit. That would be cool to see. Like of that older generation of quote unquote divas. I mean, loved Lita always.
Big fan.
Big fan. Huge fan.
Huge fan of her work. How about any of the Bellas? That's one of the other ones that I saw in here.
I would assume no.
Yeah.
I don't think they left on very good terms. I know that they are using their legal names now, and I don't think they left on great terms.
You know what made me laugh? Before I'll get to that. So I'm reading an article and just a picture popped up, and I forgot we had to talk about it. But we think we I don't think we were really good at hiding it. I think you guys can figure it out. We both think Bayley's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble. I think we think they're going to set that up. She's going to do the old fake that she's going to go after Rhea Ripley. and then she's going to go after Io, and that's just the way. I think that's just the way they're going to go.
I think they turn on her first.
Okay.
I think
In the Rumble?
No, I think she wins the Rumble.
Or they could turn
And
on her this
then
Friday.
I think Asuka and Kairi Sane win the tag titles.
Yeah.
They challenge for them Friday. I think they end up with the tag titles. I think they dub it as like a very large and this would be a funny turn, but do like a champion celebration on Friday Night SmackDown of like Bailey's like, yeah, I'm celebrating my Rumble win. We're going to get all the belts. And then Asuka and Kyrie are like, we got the belts. And they're all celebrating. And then they're just like, ooh, Bailey, you're out. Like, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Type thing. And then she makes the decision to go after Io. If Bailey turns herself, like, that would be cool. But yeah, I think you're looking at that Bailey Io Mania match. And I think Bailey wins at Mania. But yeah, I think there's no. I couldn't even think of another person that would be like even a close second in this Rumble match. Like I know, like for the men's, we have like it could be CM Punk, it could be Drew, it could be Gunther. If it's not Bailey, then it's
Becky,
and that's it. And if it's not one of those two, then it's like Jade Cargill shows up at the Rumble, debuts, wins, and challenges Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, because like I don't think they're gonna waste Bianca Belair or something like that, a win, a monumental win. I think they need some sort of spice going into Mania with either one of these women's championships, and I think we've seen the Bianca Belair of that passing these titles back and forth on SmackDown. I know Io's had it for a little bit now, but
I think too, like on SmackDown. I mean, I know you have Bianca's there and Damage Control, but Charlotte left a very big Charlotte-sized hole.
Yeah.
With her injury, and so I think like you need Damage Control to go at each other or Bailey to go at it because like I don't know how many more weeks and days and months you can do just like here's Bianca against X members of Damage Control and like then Shotzi showing up and doing that. So like I mean. It's just pretty
deadly.
For me, it's pretty obvious.
No, I think some of those women that are down in NXT could definitely be used well on the roster in SmackDown. SmackDown's kind of thin.
Vice? What's Lil? I know she has that contract.
I'm good on her. She stunk as a MMA person. I'm not even really a big fan of her work either. It's just I don't know. It's not my thing.
Electra Lopez. Yeah, I mean like. The NXT women's division is again I don't want to say stacked for
Shawn Michaels knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but even in the ring, like they do put on like obviously bangers and those matches are great. But you get to a point with an NXT where it's like how many times can we do like all of these same matches?
Roxanne Perez versus this person, or
I think like some of these people need a greater push. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see who tosses Natalya out of the ring because, like, she's going to be in the Rumble. It's a guaranteed fact that Natalya shows up. I mean, Shayna Baszler would be interesting to get a little bit of a run. Zoe Stark be interesting to get a little bit of a run. I think she shows up in the Rumble. Only other name I could think of that would be cool. I don't think it happens, but we were talking about Nick Aldis. Is what is his wife Mickie James doing?
Okay,
that would be interesting.
I like that. I like the idea of that happening. That would be fun. It would get me, old school me to get a little bit of a pop going. It would be fun. That would be fun. I think we're both in agreement though. It's Bailey.
Bailey.
I would like to see some of the NXT ladies pop up in this though to kind of get some. I think that you will, but I just think it's time for some of those ladies to make their
maybe way. Like Chelsea Green. You stop doing the tag stuff with her, and you give her a singles run. Because again, the women's tag division is just almost as stale as it gets.
I think sometimes. The only good thing that I see moving forward with the women's tag is that the Kabuki Warriors and Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. that seems like two viable tag teams that could
Yeah,
challenge
even
back
like
and forth for them.
Carter and Chance right now. I mean, they have
They're
the
fine, but
titles. Like they put on good matches. I can't get behind them because there's nobody for them to go up against. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're going up against the Kabuki Warriors on Friday. It's like, all right, you're probably gonna lose to the Kabuki Warriors on
yeah,
Friday. It's like that's sorry, that's the way it is.
definitely not winning that.
Yeah, so like you know, I don't even want to say sorry. It's just like it happens. I think one of the things we talk about Jade Cargill, and this is more like looking forward to Mania. You know, if as the world's largest if you want to keep her away from a singles match at Mania, putting again those tag belts, whether you do something with Bianca and Jade Cargill, similar to what they did with Sasha Banks and Naomi a couple years ago, where it's like give them the tag, have them elevate the tag belts, but it kind of keeps Jade from it kept basically Naomi and Sasha Banks from either one of them being in the singles division, just so neither one could take a loss. Because I think people got tired of seeing Sasha Banks and or Jade Cargill take a loss.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm sorry, Sasha Banks and Naomi.
Yeah.
But like you could do the same with Bianca and Jade Cargill. It's just kind of like give them the tag belt so neither one takes a pin.
I like that. So we're both in agreement. Bailey, she's the W. She's the person to bet, and we got one more match, Dante. That is the United States Championship match. Logan Paul, the champion, defends his title for the first time against KO Kevin Owens. I've liked the little build to this match. The different promos, them cutting each other pretty deep.
Yeah,
The
KO's
punch.
a legend with that. He can make anybody on a promo look incredible, and I think Logan Paul has been a little bit of a I don't want to say breath of fresh air for again on the mic and on sometimes on commentary and showing up, but he's definitely grown on me more than obviously when he showed up at. When we talk about like Money in the Bank, we like tipped our cap and said like, all right, respect. But I think he's kind of grown into more of like, I want to see more now of Logan Paul on television. Like he gives electric stuff.
Yeah, and this match, like I think this match itself is going to be awesome. I do wish it was. I mean, I don't know. I like Kevin Owens in like the stipulation matches where there's weapons and all sorts of stuff involved. It seems like that's the more of his jam a little bit. I don't know. That's just he's just more of that kind of wrestler in my mind. I think this is going to be a real good match because Logan's going to be able to do some crazy shit and Kevin's going to make him look great. But I don't know if we agree on who's going to win this. I think we've talked about it. Something tells me Logan's going to walk away with the title off something dirty. I think that's the way that I think this plays out. I think they're going to want Logan to carry this title into WrestleMania to give that little bit of extra added media hype and just the little attention that WrestleMania deserves and will always get.
Yeah, I could see it. I thought that they would want KO to carry it into Mania. Unless he wins it at Mania, then all things are fine. I think I don't know because I think Logan Paul is gonna be in Australia.
Okay.
So it is one of those like, not what do you do with Logan Paul aspects, but like, does he defend the U.S. title in Australia? Type of thing, or like, what do you do with him
in the chamber?
He did feud with Seth last year, so that would be an intriguing entry into the chamber for the. I mean, he wouldn't win, but or you do again if he wins it here, you run it back at Perth. I just don't see KO losing twice in a row, so it does change hand. I'm on board. I think I told you this, and I've been trying to get a following for this for the last little bit of time, and nobody, I don't know if anybody's in it with me, but bring back the United States Championship ladder match, whether that be at WrestleMania, or make it at WrestleMania, but I know they used to have it as like almost like WrestleMania, I don't want to say opening match, but early on in the WrestleMania, they'd be like, all right, I remember, was it the one in Dallas? I guess the first one that was in Texas. I think like Zack Ryder won, potentially the U.S. title, the Intercontinental title ladder match. but you have so many people within that U.S. title bubble that like I need all of those people something to do at WrestleMania and just put them in here. I think it'll just be an electric factory, but I think that's something you could do with that U.S. title.
I would like that. That would be something fun, man. You could do 6 men for the or you could even do a regular just 2, 3. You don't have to even do the whole thing. It could be. There's a lot of different ways that I think this U.S. Championship's going to play out. Do you think though it's possible that maybe Logan carries the title into the chamber and then they do a chamber match for the U.S. Championship?
That would be if CM Punk wins the Rumble, I think. So, like, if CM Punk wins the Rumble and it's like Dwayne is still on that warpath to face Roman and you need a chamber match, that would be I think they did it.
They could do a couple of them, right? I mean,
did they? Was that the chamber match last year? Didn't they have it?
I feel like it might have been 2022. Yeah, maybe. No, I'm gonna go and try and find some of it and click.
Whatever year Montez Ford was in it, because he was like,
well, Theory was the champion, right?
Yeah,
I want to say.
Yeah, I think they did it with like Montez Ford, Theory.
Yes, so 2023. No, this was last year. Austin Theory defeated Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, Montez Ford, and Seth freaking Rollins in the U.S. Championship match.
U.S. Championship. Yeah, so I remember that because like Montez Ford did some wild stuff, like insane, like off the chamber, off the cage type nonsense. It was crazy. Yeah, I mean I'd be down for that again if CM Punk wins the Rumble, and it's kind of like we need to have a chamber match. I think it would be very heel of Logan Paul to be like, hey, I'll defend it against everybody in the Elimination Chamber. Same thing, it would be very heel of Logan Paul to say, hey, I'll defend it against everybody at WrestleMania. Give me a ladder match at Mania. I'll put the belt on the top, and we'll see who wins it. But it just goes like you had the tournament for the number one contender, but there were big names in that, and like those matches were all pretty phenomenal between Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, Austin Theory, Carmelo Hayes. Then you have Grayson Waller. Then you have Santos Escobar. Logan Paul, obviously. If it's WrestleMania, you can throw Bad Bunny in there. You can throw you could throw a lot of those names. You could throw Montez Ford in there, like we just mentioned. Montez Ford doing wild stuff, and it's not like they're out of place, but it gives them something so crazy to do. I just think like with the U.S., I think you need to do it because your other 3 men's titles are on like lockdown right now. Like no one's beating Roman, no one's beating Gunther. If someone's beating Seth, it's one of like 2 or 3 people. So it's like you have this other belt, you need to use it, and you need to get the most use out of it. I think it's been good that it's been with Logan Paul because like you're getting a lot of exposure with it. But then it's kind of just like, all right, who else can we put this on to, bring back the John Cena Open Championship?
Yeah, the Open Championship Challenge. I would like that.
The best. I think like Kevin Owens would probably do something stupid like that if he won at the Royal Rumble. He would do like this, I'm going to defend this title every Friday, and then you'll get the same X people every Friday, but you have the people to do it on SmackDown, right? You'll get match with Grayson Waller, match with NXT call up, match with Austin Theory, match with whoever, and that kind of carries you into we have all these people, let's just throw them into one giant match.
So I think that's it. I think that is it for us. What is your official pick on the U.S. Championship match?
I'm gonna still go KO.
Okay. I think that one kind of can go either way.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad whichever way it goes. I just think from a booking perspective, like I got to see I'll be able to determine the grade after. I know it's gonna be a good match, just with those 2 in it. So I think like it just depends on how you decide to book it going forward. But KO's been through been through the mud, so to speak. Shout out to Paul Reed, but like he's, did the whole thing with Roman and did the whole thing with Sammy with the tag titles, and then came to SmackDown's just been punching everyone in the face. So give him a title.
The the thing that made me crack up was seeing the Hulk Hogan saying that he has one more
He's
left.
got one more left in him, brother. Let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah, would you be fired up? Would you be absolutely fired up?
I would be like, what are we doing?
What the fuck are we
What
doing?
is this? If you hear, I am a real...
I mean, I will say, I will be like, oh my God, I can't believe he's here.
I was at Raw 30 last year when I was in Philly, and Hogan opened the show. And when that music hit, and he came out in the giant scarf with the red and yellow and was saying, brother, welcome to Monday Night Raw, like, everyone just erupted.
Yeah.
When, literally everybody there was just like, and like there are probably people in the street that like if you see him they'll be like, screw Hulk Hogan, this guy's trash, which he is kind of a trash human being and everything else. But then like you're in the midst of it and that music hits and he comes out and you're just like, yes, let's go. That's my boy. Yeah, I can't believe he actually said that. Like, unprompted too. And he was like just talking about the Royal Rumble. He's like, I got one more left in me, brother.
Man, one more left in me, brother. It's just, I was looking up.
I think he
odds.
shows up though. I think he might show up because they're doing like the whole 40 years of Hulkmania. So like maybe he's there, but entering the Rumble. Let me tell you something, brother. Get out of here.
Let me tell you something, brother. I think I got one more left in me, brother.
Nah, we don't want that.
So that U.S. Championship match, so they have Logan Paul at minus 2,000. That's just some website though. I don't know if that's where they're getting these odds from, but
it's probably because I think Logan Paul's already confirmed to be in Australia.
Yeah.
So like if he's like because they were doing the promo tour and it said like WWE superstars Logan Paul are going to be coming to Perth, Australia for Elimination Chamber. So like in that regard, sure, right? Like if he's going to already be at Elimination Chamber, you might as well keep the belt on him for now.
So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is your 2024 WWE Royal Rumble preview. We gave you everything you need to know to go ahead, sit down on Saturday night, open yourself an alcoholic beverage, a soda, a water, whatever it is that you like to partake in, and enjoy this spectacle that is going to be the Royal Rumble. Anything can happen. It truly is the most exciting event of the WWE calendar, I would say, because it's just WrestleMania is probably the best one, but this one is just the most exciting because it really is truly anything can happen. So, on that note, Dante, thank you. As always, let's get after it. And ladies and gentlemen, enjoy it. And on that note, brother, I might have one more left in me. We will have one more left in us. More than one, but for the sake of the joke, one more left in us. When we come back, we will recap this next week, talk about everything that goes down, everyone that showed up, everything that you need to know. This is the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney.